music therapy change our lives? My name is Andy Last from Living LFS, and welcome to Learning Li-Fraumeni Syndrome, a service of Living LFS, a nonprofit with the mission to encourage, empower, and educate those living with Li-Fraumeni Syndrome by connecting them with care, resources, and others who are living LFS. Recently, we partnered with Melodic Caring Project, a nonprofit that connects artists with patients worldwide, bringing hope, connection, and the power of music to people battling illness like cancer. And today I'm very excited to speak with Levi Ware. He is the Executive Director of Melodic Caring Project. Levi, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Andy, thanks for having me. I appreciate this. I appreciate the partnership and just the opportunity to work together.
So you guys provide such an incredible, joyful service. How did this get started?
Yeah, I think that's exactly the hope, is that it's joyful, right? That it lifts people up when they need hope and joy the most. It got started because I'm a musician, and years ago, 13 years ago now, a friend of mine who was a middle school teacher had a student who was diagnosed with leukemia, and it was a very heavy diagnosis in a small community with a small town and a small class. And he reached out to me just asking, gosh, do you have any ideas of how we could approach this, and knowing, I guess, intrinsically the power of music, that's always my first go-to, and so of course, let's have a concert. Let's let her know that she's not alone, that we're going to be supporting her as she goes down this journey and that her community has her, and the idea was that she was going to be at the concert and there would be community members and classmates and everybody would be there to just lift Katie up. Katie was her name, and lift her up and let her know we're supporting you. And it turned out that the day of the concert, we had 300 people gathered at a theater called the Lincoln Theater to support Katie. And unfortunately, she was quarantined going through a bone marrow transplant. And so the whole idea, right, was that we were there so that she didn't feel alone. And instead, she was alone in the hospital. And it just felt like it was a big disappointment is what it was, it just felt like a big blow. And we thought, well, shoot, we're here, she's there, the concert's still going to happen. We have a computer just like this. We can send her a link to a live stream and just let her know that we're all here still, and this was back before live streaming was really an accepted thing or form of therapy. And so I had a live stream account just because of music, and I sent her a link and we played the concert and would get down in front of the camera and go, Katie, we're all here. You're supposed to be here. We just want you to know you're not alone. We love you. We're thinking about you. Everybody in this venue is sending you their best wishes and thoughts and prayers. And then pick up the whole computer and turn it, and everybody in the crowd waved at Katie. And honestly, we didn't think it would be a really emotional connection, but we called Katie in her hospital room after the show, and she was sobbing and her mom was sobbing, and it connected, right? They knew that they were not alone in that moment. And I think a lot of times dealing with very difficult illness or long-term illness or anything that leaves you feeling isolated or separated from your peer group or from your family or support system, just knowing that you're not forgotten is a big part of the battle,
So this all started for you obviously long before the pandemic, but I imagine that once the pandemic hit, then your services were even more needed, and you already had the systems in place.
Yeah, right. We've been doing it for 10 years previous to 2020 and the pandemic, and had been partnering with artists all around the world and streaming concerts. So that's the idea, right? That turned into one show for a child in a hospital to creating a nonprofit that partnered with artists that were touring the nation to stream their shows to kids in hospitals. So we've teamed up with artists from, Regina Spektor, the Black Eyed Peas, Flo Rida, legacy artists like Graham Nash or David Crosby, Coldplay, Zach Brown, Brett Young, Brandy Carlisle, just over 400 artists now we've teamed up with to send love and dedications and music to those either in the hospital or just dealing with difficult situations. Or they might be in home care, they might be in hospital care, it might just be, mental health, but we're here to support and let people know they're not alone, but they're being thought of and supported.
That's incredible. So tell me about, I know that I've creeped your website a little bit. So I've heard about Rockologists and Rockstars. So tell me about these folks in the community.
Yeah. So these are all monikers inside of the Melodic Caring Project. What we realized pretty early on with the Melodic Caring Project is while there's a lot of great musicians, not to be disparaging to musicians, we call these people rock stars, but they don't always live exemplary lifestyles, right? And these kids, these families that we support are remarkable. They're exemplary, they're strong, they are courageous, we have found them to be very gracious and very welcoming and very, very grateful for the connection and for the support and the thought. And what we realized is, man, if anybody's a rock star, it's these kids that we're supporting or these families that we're supporting. So we swapped flipped the paradigm and made the kids the rock stars and made the artists the number one fans. So with Melodic Caring Project, the patients are the rock stars, and then our rockologists are the musicians that we have on our team around the country that do just special dedications. We have another program that we launched called Rockstar Requests, right? So we have 4 core programs at Melodic Caring Project. The first, what we started with, was live streaming concerts to hospital rooms. And in 2020, all of that went away, right? So this program that was based on live concerts and dedications from artists playing their shows, we had to stop and really analyze, wait, what are we? If music is gone and we can't live stream a concert, what are we? And so we quickly pivoted and created 3 other core programs for Melodic Caring Project. And we connected people with artists in their own homes. And so we started doing just like we're doing right here, right? We would connect with an artist like Weird Al or G Love and Special Sauce and have a little conversation with them. He would give dedications to our rock stars and then do a song performance for our rock stars and just let them know that they're being cared for. And then we also launched a program that we call Rockstar Requests, where mostly independent musicians, but musicians that we've had great relationships with for a long time, will do special dedications to our rock stars. They'll record a video and just say, hey, we're thinking about you. We want you to know you're not alone. We're sending tons of love. You're the rock star. We are your number one fans. And then perform a song and send it to them. And then we find that those patients will watch those songs over and over again. Anytime they need a pick me up, right? It can be a long, hard fight if you're battling LFS or cancer or any number of illnesses that make you feel, like I say, separated. And sometimes you just need a little pick me up, a little hope, just that thought that somebody cares, and that dedication and that song performance gives you that little ray of sunshine you need.
And there is actually research about this that shows that music therapy can uplift people, right?
Yeah, no question. It's funny because in some of humanity's earliest writings, it documents the power of music to impact the spirit, and the body. And I think that in Western medicine, we kind of lost our way with that for a while. Though I think we all intrinsically know that music is powerful. I think Western medicine is embracing more and more that music is not just emotionally or spiritually or psychologically powerful; it's physically powerful. And man, when you can transport somebody out of a place of anxiety, right? You're actually changing physically the cortisol levels inside the body, and cortisol levels are directly affiliated, right, or directly impact depression, anxiety, pain perception, right? So you might be in pain, but if you don't perceive the pain, that's no different than a drug, right? The body is still in pain, but when your mind isn't perceiving the pain, now your pain threshold is changing. So music can do the same thing. When you change somebody's pain perception, you change their actual pain receptors, So music is incredibly powerful physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
So you talked a little bit about what Katie experienced in that very first experience that you had. Tell me about some of the other experiences that you've had with your rock stars.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Another story I like to tell because it was very early on, and it was, like I say, as a musician, I've seen music cross boundaries and connect people that wouldn't otherwise connect, and bring joy in areas where people were dealing with difficulty or pain or sorrow or mourning. And so I've always known that it's powerful, but have never seen, the physical impact as as succinctly as I have with Melodic Caring Project. And that first show with Katie, when we called her afterwards and she was crying, and we thought, wow, this really worked. This was powerful for her. I also kind of simultaneously, maybe it's just pessimism or, a lack of faith. I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, but there's got to be a reason. It couldn't have been that powerful. It must be because she knew everybody in the crowd or something. We need to do this with somebody that we don't have a relationship with to see if it's still this powerful. And Katie had a friend that she had met while she was in the hospital going through chemo and battling her leukemia. And he also had leukemia. And his name was Braden. And so she thought, you know what? I think Braden would love a concert. Let's get him a concert. And we thought, perfect. That's somebody we don't know. We don't have a relationship with. Let's see how the impact is. And so we talked to Braden, and his mom's name was Renee. And they were really excited about it because in the hospital with this type of diagnosis, it's weeks and weeks of separation, of isolation, of not much to look forward to. A lot of needle pokes, a lot of procedures, a lot of nausea, a lot of difficulty that goes along with that type of battle. And so this was one thing that they could put in the future and go, okay, next week, Braden, you have this thing you can look forward to. And Braden was excited about it. And so this week was going by and they were looking forward to it. Well, it turned out that the morning of the concert for Braden, he had an abnormally heavy dose of chemo. And so he was feeling very nauseous. And his mom said he was just puke and rally, were her words, all day, puke and rally, puke. And it came up to that evening. 8:00 at night was the concert, and she kind of panicked and thought, this is the only thing he was looking forward to all week, and now he's going to miss the only thing that he actually wanted to experience. And she said it was like 7:59. He leaned over, he vomited again, and she, kind of in a panic, just opened the computer, went to the email, clicked on the link, and the concert came up. And it was, right at the beginning when the artists were saying, Braden, everybody is here. We're all in the venue. We're thinking about you. We just want you to know you're not alone. We got a whole crowd here that's sending you love. And the whole crowd cheered for Braden. And we turned the cameras on the crowd. And Renee said Braden was leaning over when it started. And he wiped his mouth and sat back up. And he said, what? I said, Mom, they just called me out by name. And she said, yeah, Braden, this is for you. This is for you, buddy. And she said that was it. For the rest of the evening, he just was so keyed in on the music and on the experience and on that personal connection and love that he didn't throw up for the rest of the night. And halfway through the concert, she said she looked down and he had just these big alligator tears, going down his cheeks. And she said, Braden, what's wrong? And he said, Mom, they don't even know me. Why are they doing this for me? Wow. And so when we talked to Braden's mom afterwards, that's when we realized, wow, okay, we need to do this, and we started researching and we assumed somebody else must be doing this. It's too good and it's too easy and it's too powerful, and it turned out nobody was. And so we launched a nonprofit called the Melodic Caring Project, and it's been 13 years and we've served over 37,000 rock stars all around the world.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, so I want to flip the tables on you now. So as a musician, as the person who is, well, first of all, when you decided you were going to become a musician, did you have any idea that you would be helping people in this way?
No, none. Nope. I just knew I loved it, right? Yeah. I just knew I loved it.
So what is the impact that that these concerts and these events have on you or have on the musicians that are involved?
I love that question, because here's the amazing part, right? Is that, I knew as a musician that it was powerful. I knew that, and I think this is a very common thing for musicians. Not all, but I would say the majority of musicians want their music to be impacting, right? They want it to be something more than just entertainment, more than just a product, more than just $15 at a concert afterwards to sell a CD or whatever. They want it to be something that's connective, that's inspiring, because that's what it is for them. It comes out of inspiration. It's this breath of inspiration. And when we first started Melodic Caring Project, those experiences were really powerful for me. But we still felt like, for me, I wanted music to be more than that. And maybe I didn't give other musicians enough credit. Maybe I didn't think that everybody wants this to be powerful and something more than just a way to pick up chicks or whatever, But But I think I've learned over the course of this last 13 years that most musicians, and I would say probably like 90%, really believe that their music is something powerful. And to watch their music have an impact, to watch it be something more than entertainment, to be at a show and to be able to say, guys, there's something really amazing happening at this show. Tonight, we have kids in hospitals all around the world and they can't be here with us. So we partnered with the Melodic Caring Project. We're streaming this concert to kids in their hospital rooms. Join me. Let's send these guys some love. And when they see the impact that it has on the crowd and how everybody will just light up and join them and cheer, it's a really powerful experience, not just for the artist, but for the crowd as well. And
Sure.
we have, we've done shows, like I say, with Vance Joy and Alabama Shakes and Amos Lee and all these amazing artists. And Brittany from the Alabama Shakes came up after the concert that we did with them and said, we've done 100+ shows on this tour, but this show has been the most impacting. It's been the most meaningful. And because of that, right? Because it was the most meaningful. This show, that show that they did with Melodic Caring Project was more than entertainment. It wasn't just giving somebody something to bob their head to, right? It was something that they were witnessing the power of their music in that moment. And that's a big gift to a musician.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the logistics of this. Does the family have to pay for anything in order to get this service?
No, it's a free service, Melodic Caring Project. We've always wanted this to be very, very low barrier, right? The entry. I mean, I think what's remarkable, and this is kind of a side note, but another thing that we've realized, right, is that there's a lot of isolation in the world in a time where we've never been more connected. I don't know that we've ever felt more isolated, and that's something that we need to stop and think very seriously about, because we're seeing a lot of anxiety. We're seeing a lot of mental health problems in the world. We're seeing a lot of division and separation. And Melodic Caring Project is remarkable. It's something that we've watched it bring hundreds of thousands of people together. If you take everybody, all the crowds at all the shows and all the people that have joined online. So Alabama Shakes, when we did that show with them, they tweeted it out to their whole fan base and said, we want all of our fans to be able to join and support these kids in hospitals. So we had over 18,000 people joining from around the world and sending messages to the kids that were watching from their hospital or home care rooms.
That's incredible.
So this is a long answer to a short question, but no, it's free because we want everybody to be able to access it, right? This is our opportunity for all of us to come together and care for each other and support each other. And we also watch the Rockstars support each other, right? So when we're doing the live stream concerts or group therapy sessions, the Rockstars are there caring for each other, supporting each other, sending each other messages. And, I think probably everybody in the LFS community would relate to this, right? That there is something about, it's difficult to get somebody to understand what you're dealing with. And if you don't understand, it's hard to have empathy. But when you talk to somebody else that's been through what you're going through, there's an immediate connection, an immediate empathy, and immediate outreach. And that's important, and for these kids, these rock stars that we support, it's important that they have people that they can connect with that understand what they're going through and just connect with them on that level. So that's a big part of what we do as well.
So in order for somebody to sign up to any of these different projects that you have at Melodic Caring Project, what do they need to do?
It's very simple. Go to melodiccaring.org and there is a sign up form there. Just sign up to be a rock star with the Melodic Caring Project. Another thing you can do, and this is another thing we've realized, right, is that a lot of times, maybe this is another Western culture thing, it's hard for us to ask for help, right? And it's easier. We want to be there to help others. We want to be there to support others. But when it's our time, when we're the ones that are in need, it's hard to ask. And so we invite everybody to ask. You're the rock star. So you're not asking for anything. You're giving us the opportunity to connect with you and bring meaning to our lives and our music. So we appreciate that. But 2, if you know somebody out there that just needs support, we have what's called a Rockstar nomination form. So you can nominate somebody else to become a rock star. And then in that way, you can send them dedication, send them love, send them that message of hope that maybe they need in a difficult moment.
Very cool. What else should we know about Melodic Caring Project?
Man, you should know, one, that we're very honored and proud to be partnered with Living LFS. Thank you for the partnership and giving us the opportunity to meet and maybe build relationships with and support the amazing folks in the LFS community. But as well, just that a lot of times we don't stop and recognize maybe where we are, the difficulty of the situation. I think that especially with people dealing with long-term or difficult illnesses, it is a daily battle, and that daily battle slowly eats away, at your sense of joy, your sense of lift and hope and happiness. And even if you're not feeling an acute sense of anxiety or depression, a little message of hope goes a long ways, So we just want people to know that we're here for them, and we want them to reach out, and we want to provide music and support and hope and love to anybody out there that needs it.
Fantastic. The website is melodiccaring.org. Levi Ware, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it.